Can I just film like this? Because I'm freezing. I did a quick change, don't worry, so you guys don't think that I film all my videos back to back, even though, you know, I do. So this was the video that was supposed to go up on Wednesday, and I tried to film it and I had no voice and I just seemed completely uninterested in life. But I love these videos, so I was like, no, fuck this. I'm not gonna film this video when I'm in this mood. I'm gonna film it when I'm in a good mood. And guess what? I'm in a good mood. So I'm going to read to you guys more of your paranormal stories. I feel like I look like a dumb with this on. Okay, I think that'll. I feel like when I have the blanket on, my lighting gets really dark. Why is that a thing? I don't understand. What is the blanket doing? Okay. But I wanted to read to you guys some more of your paranormal stories. I have so many at this point that it's actually ridiculous. I think I'm gonna upload one this week and one next week. Let me know if that's overkill because I'm probably gonna do it anyways. I think this week I'm gonna take all of them from Twitter because I suck at going back and forth and I always forget to go back and forth, and then by the time I'm like, oh shit, I should read some from Instagram. It's been like 45 minutes. So this video is all gonna be from Twitter, and then next week I'll do them all from Instagram, I promise. Like, that's just easier because it's me and everything's too difficult for me to do. Jesus. So I have my list of people. I need to go find their stories. I need to go find their DM. I accepted all of them, so I think that they'll just like show up automatically. I'm hoping. I think I'm finally getting the hang of this. I think I finally found a technique to where this isn't impossible to do. Okay, just like the rest of the videos, I will have the person's name or their @ right here, and then I also will have everybody linked down below so you guys can go check them out. And if you guys have any other stories that you want to send to me, go ahead and send them to me. Twitter and Instagram are definitely the best places to send them to me. People are still sending them to me on Snapchat, and like, you can, but like, I'm gonna lose it, and I'm just being honest. They just get buried in Snapchat, and like, even when I remember to screenshot it, they just get buried in my camera roll. If you guys don't have social media, you don't have Twitter or Instagram, you can message me on YouTube. I point over there because my computer's over there, as if you guys know that. But you guys can message me on YouTube itself, and I check those messages pretty often, so if you guys message me on there, I can also get them. I'm just saying Snapchat, it's probably not the best. Okay, but let's just get started. So I have read this person's stories before, but they sent me an update, or not like an update, but they sent me like another long story, and I kind of skimmed through it and it sounds really interesting, so I'm gonna read it. So this is from Jax. So they said, long story. I brought my Ouija board to a friend's house. Her basement is the most terrifying thing. Her entire house is haunted, and I've experienced it firsthand. At a party once, me and my friend were sitting on a couch with our back facing the stairs, and everyone was in front of us. Suddenly, we heard a loud slam like something was shoved off a box at the end of the basement a bit ahead of the stairs, and we all screamed. Can you imagine being at a party and just something like that happened? Everybody just panics. Like, it's just fucking mayhem. Later that night, a spirit box we had said somebody's name from the party. Where do you get a spirit box from? I kind of want one. Aside from the party, whenever I stay there, my sleep was more irregular than usual. We heard things pushed around the basement. Her room was down there at the time. It's just terrifying. And we saw shadows running around. The sounds and stuff would follow us upstairs. Okay, we used to have a cabin in Flagstaff like my family did. We had this basement, and the basement was kind of creepy, but we would go down there and we'd always watch like ghost stories and stuff because we just apparently like to traumatize ourselves. And I swear, every time I went up the stairs, I thought I was being chased by something. And maybe it was just like little me being paranoid and like scared because I had just watched a bunch of ghost stories, but literally I would sprint up the stairs every time. I would like crawl up the stairs, like I would just grasp onto them and pull myself up because I was like, something's chasing me. Sorry, I keep interrupting, sorry. I found out a little while ago that her house used to be a place they fucking fixed bodies up for funerals. That's not creepy at all. Anyways, back to the thing that happened yesterday. It was Friday the 13th in October. See, this is how like backed up I am. We decided we had to use the board. We had to. We went downstairs to use it. We asked if anybody was there, and it moved to yes. We asked a couple more questions before asking if it would be easier to move the planchette if we had candles, and it moved to yes. We said we'd be right back and said goodbye. Conveniently enough, soon after we said goodbye, my friend's mom told us we had to leave for our school's homecoming football game. Immediately when I moved to put the board away, I got the worst headache I've ever had in my life. We put it away and we left. Usually cold air would help my headache, so I didn't take anything to help it. The entire game it kept getting worse and worse. I was offered food and I hadn't eaten much that day, but as soon as I touched it, I got so nauseous, as if I was seconds away from throwing up. When we got back to my friends, I took 2 ibuprofen for my splitting headache, and I made food because I wanted to ignore the fact that we totally pissed the spirit off and it was probably giving me a headache on purpose. So I made the food, but every single time I touched it with my fork, I felt like I was going to throw up. I couldn't eat, and my headache was getting worse. I genuinely thought my brain was going to explode. And then they keep going on basically, and they go, it still didn't help, so I literally yelled, sorry, we had to go to a game. My friend started laughing, and my headache almost immediately stopped, and I felt my stomach flip and hunger fully kick in. Can you imagine just being like, I'm sorry, and they're like, okay, boom, and then they're just fucking healed. I asked my friend why she was laughing, and she told me that there was a ghost of a little girl at her house that messed with people's heads and stomachs when she was mad, and that happened to her and her sister all the time. Like, this is a common occurrence. Wouldn't you tell them beforehand? Like, hey, just so you know, if we piss her off, this might happen. I said sorry out loud again, and I ate my food. Later, we went to the basement. The ribbon we used to turn on one of the lights was swinging back and forth. No one had touched it, and the fan was off. That night, I had the worst sleep I'd had in a while. waking up literally every hour with a bad dream, and every time I looked up to see the ribbon moving. Not sleeping there again. Also left the board there. Good idea. Good fucking idea. Okay, and then they have another shorter story, so I'm gonna read that one too. They said, I finally got a Ouija board after literally a year of begging my mom. She's a firm believer in things like this, and she made me swear to never use it in our house. So, naturally, I used it at a friend's. Okay, me, but I used it at my own house. We talked to her grandpa and my dad, and then ended the game. Easy and simple. Not a bad or creepy feeling until later that night. I ignored it, but the next time I stayed the night, I brought the board and we didn't use it because in the middle of the night I woke up and saw a tall shadow with a pointed hat at the end of the room. It was literally so dark, but the shadow still stood out against it. Can you imagine being in like the pitch black and just seeing a shadow that's literally darker than the pitch black? There hadn't been anything down there in years, so my friend is convinced it's because we had the board. There used to be something down there that would hit these poles that went from the floor to the ceiling, but that ended when my friend was 7. She's 15 now. Fuck. And then this one is from Shahara. I'm so sorry if I say that wrong, and I probably will, and I'm sorry if I ever say anything wrong. So they prefaced it by saying, hey, I have a scary story for you. I don't care if you put this in your video, and I feel like other people might enjoy it too. Keep in mind this actually happened to me, and I'm still shook. So that's a great way to start this. Anyways, I was in grade 6 when this happened. I grew up with doors always randomly closing, weird voices, footsteps, so I always believed in the paranormal. One night in February, I woke up at 3:30 a.m. and I needed water, so I walked downstairs to the kitchen. I entered at exactly 3:33. I didn't turn on the lights because I have a problem with migraines, and the light would have given me a migraine right away. I turned to my left and took a step forward, and I didn't even have enough time to grab a glass before a butcher knife flew towards me. I dodged it, hit the fridge. What the fuck? I ran upstairs to my room and slammed my door shut. I heard somebody or something slam against my door. Oh my fucking god. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Oh my god. I sat on my bed crying. I could feel somebody watching me and pulling my hair and poking me. Okay, yeah. What the actual fuck is happening right now? Are you okay? Are you okay? Because I'm really scared for you right now. I can't imagine going through this. I sat there crying for what felt like hours until finally everything stopped. I didn't feel anything again until I turned to my phone and checked the time. It was 4 a.m. I didn't go back to sleep because I was too scared. For the next 3 months, every morning I woke up choking. I would run to the bathroom and puke and spit out blood until I would feel numb. I talked to my parents about it, but they just thought I was getting nosebleeds in my sleep. Oh my god. They said one day it randomly stopped. There hasn't really been much activity since then, but I'm still too scared to walk around at 3 a.m. I would be scared to walk around my house ever again. I honestly think that's one of the most terrifying stories I've read ever. Oh my god. Oh my god. And on that note, this one is from Yahira. I need to sneeze, and I can feel that I need to sneeze, but I can't sneeze. Okay, so they said, hey Courtney, I know you probably won't see this. Yes, I will, and they're in the video, but it's worth a shot. Yes, it is. I'm Yahira, and this happened to me when I was about 9 years old. My family and I lived in an apartment back then, so I had to share a room with my younger brother, and we slept in bunk beds. At the time, I was sleeping on the top bunk and woke up in the middle of the night facing the wall. This is strange to me already because I never sleep facing the wall. I'm really paranoid about turning around and seeing something I don't want to see. Okay, me all the fucking time. I tried to turn around and glance at the clock and check what time it was, but I couldn't move or talk. It was a digital clock, so only a little bit of light came from it. I wanted to close my eyes so bad, but all I could do was just stare at the shadow figure towering over me on the wall. Why are all of these absolutely terrifying? Like, I feel like I go through phases of these videos where it's like really nice stories and then just like fucking traumatizing stories, and now I'm gonna be scared and have nightmares tonight. Fuck. It looked like a man, but I couldn't figure out who it was. I thought it was my dad at first, but I realized he was out of town for work purposes. Minutes went by and I still couldn't move, so I closed my eyes as tightly as I could, and when I opened them back up, the shadow was gone. This happened 6 years ago, and it recently happened again. Fuck. Only this time, I wasn't facing the wall. The next day, I awoke from what I thought was a dream, and I decided to take matters into my own hands because nobody in my family believed me. After what felt like hours of research, I found out that the apartments I'm currently living in were built on top of what used to be a cemetery. And to make things worse, 2 years before we moved in, a man had hung himself in the closet of the room me and my brother shared. The room where I'm currently typing this, and that's all they fucking wrote. Is there more? Is there more? Because please send it to me. I feel like it makes it like worse too. Actually, I don't know if it makes it worse or better to find out that something actually happened there. Because I don't know if it's worse to like think you're insane and nothing happened, or to like know that something happened because of some. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Fucking, you guys are scary. Okay, then this one is from Jennifer. So she said, hi Courtney, I have a paranormal story for you. It happened a while ago, but now just little things happen. I live in Pennsylvania, and a lot of the houses where I live are very, very old farmhouses. My neighborhood was built down the street from a farm, and apparently a lot of my friends down the street have experienced weird things in their homes since they've moved in. Great, you just live in a haunted neighborhood. I never really had anything happen until one night. I was a sophomore in high school, and I was up late at night on my phone. My room was set up where you open the door, which opened into my bedroom, and the first thing to the right was my bed. The headboard was pushed up against the wall and my bed was positioned in the corner of my room. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I made it that way so there was a wall on the left side of me and a wall behind me so nothing could sneak up and scare me. Yes, I'm scared of the dark even though I'm 19 years old. Me too, I feel you. And I'm 22 years old. Around 3 a.m. I started to hear soft footsteps walking up and down my hallway. I thought it was my cat. She had pretty heavy footsteps for such a skinny cat. Thinking nothing of it, I kept scrolling through Instagram. 5 minutes later, I heard the footsteps again, this time going up and down the steps. I was a little confused and guessed maybe my mom was getting something to drink, and I was too lazy to get up and investigate, but I was getting a little nervous. Okay, I literally go and investigate everything. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm like a detective, a paranormal investigating detective, and just want to know what's happening at all times. So I totally would have been like, what's going on? 3 minutes after the footsteps and all the sounds stopped. Mind you, my windows were locked shut because it was winter when this happened, and my vents were half shut because I didn't like my room getting too hot. My fan was off and my door was completely closed. You couldn't open it from the inside or outside without turning the knob. At exactly 3:15, I was engrossed in my phone and suddenly my door swung open and hit the wall. I snapped my head up and pressed my back against my headboard and gripped my phone. I kept my eyes on the door. At this point, my heart was racing and I felt tears dripping down my face. A minute later, it slammed shut. Can you guys tell? I just like curled into a ball while reading that. I was holding my breath. I turned my phone flashlight on and quickly scrambled off my bed and turned on my overhead light. Nothing was in my room. Nothing had opened the door. I approached the door and tried to turn it. It felt locked and it wouldn't let me turn it. The scary part was everybody was still asleep. I could hear them snoring. And my door doesn't have a lock on it. I took a deep breath and tried to open the door, praying I was hallucinating and none of this was happening. With tears streaming down my face, my door opened and it was just a dark hallway. Everybody asleep. The house was quiet. I got back in bed and stayed pressed into the corner wide awake, light on for the rest of the night. I would keep my light on for the rest of my life. The next day, my mom asked me not to close my door so loudly. She said she heard me slam it shut. I would have been like, Mom, it wasn't me. I told her it wasn't me, but she just laughed. She said, if it wasn't you, was it a ghost? I would have been like, yes, Mom. To this day, I really believe it was. Other things have happened where things would fly off my nightstand at night, or I'd turn the light off and walk back into the room and the light would be on. That's all I have to tell. Much of the activity stopped after we started to attend church, but I still believe something has been lingering in the house since that night. Fuck. Okay, and this one's also from a Jennifer, but this is from Jen. He said, it's currently 12 a.m. right now and I'm scared, lol. But I remember this story. It happened last year on Thanksgiving. I was actually heading out to go to my aunt's house. We were leaving around 10 p.m. Before we left, I was outside talking to a friend on the phone. I was walking around, you know, just what people do, pace around while talking, and I decided to sit down and look up in the sky. Then I looked at my window, and I saw something. It was movement, but I hadn't really paid much attention to it because I was too busy talking on the phone. But then I just started to look at the window, and I saw a white figure. I tried not to pay too much attention to it, but it literally turned to face me, like as if it was telling me to run. Could you imagine looking up at your window, first of all, seeing somebody walk by it, and looking up again and just seeing somebody there, and then they look at you? Like, that's not okay. I froze and I dragged myself inside my house. I couldn't move or talk. It was such a horrible feeling. That's it. That was the end of it. Has anything else happened? Has it happened again? Like, you guys, you can't, okay, I know I leave you guys on cliffhangers all the time, but you can't do that to me. That's not how this works. Okay, and then this is a really long one, so I think this is going to be the last one. Oh, my camera's going to stop recording. Okay, and then this one is from Angelina. She said, hey coach, hope you're doing good today. I feel like dying because wrestling is kicking my ass. Well, I'm feeling good and I hope that you feel better. Anyways, my paranormal story happened last month. I was babysitting my little cousin who is 4 and I'm 16. We were sitting in the living room watching cartoons and from the couch you can see the front door. So there's the front door and then there's a glass door, so kind of like a screen door, I think. They said we had the front door open and the glass door closed. We had the door open because we were waiting on a pizza. And as we were watching cartoons, my little cousin gets up. Keep in mind it's like 8 o'clock at night, and says there's a man at the door. I already hate this story. I already fucking hate this story. So I look over, but nobody's there. So I kind of brushed it off until he kept saying, Chula, there's a man. So I finally asked, where, what man? Okay, I would have been screaming. I'd have been like, shut up! There's no man. There's no man. Just be quiet. He kept saying, at the door, at the door. So I walked over and I started to look out, and I didn't see anyone. And as I'm walking away from the glass door, the actual door slams behind me, and I started to flip my shit, and I picked my cousin up. We went... I can't. You guys are scaring the shit out of me. Like, this isn't even funny. Okay, let's see. I lost my place. Okay, so I picked my cousin up. We went in the backyard and let my uncle's big dog inside to run around and find them. I called my uncle and he came home super fast and checked out the house and everything, and that was it. Later that night, I was in the guest room and there's a huge window that looks out into the front yard. And as soon as you walk out of the room, you're in the living room. So I'm freaked out, scared to go into the living room, just laying there with headphones in, eyes wide open. Soon I finally have to face my fears and walk into the bathroom. Here's when the shit goes down. Like, that wasn't the shit already. I walk out and start going towards the guest room when I heard a child giggling. Okay. I walk into the living room thinking it's my cousin, and as soon as I walk in there, it's like super cold and I just feel lots of eyes on me. I still hear the giggling and realize it's a little girl laughing and not my cousin, so I flip out and I run back into the guest room. I open the door and I see a man. Fuck you guys, fuck you guys, fuck you guys. I'm so nervous right now. I feel like I'm gonna I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna die tonight. Like, I feel like this is just a sign that I'm gonna wake up and there's gonna be a huge man standing over my bed. It was this big black figure just standing there staring at me, and then it just disappeared. I started crying after that because I realized that that was the same man I was seeing as a what? That's the same man I was seeing as a child. I remember him so clearly because he was the reason we moved away from our first home. Plot twist. Thanks for reading. Let me know if you want to hear the stories from when I was little. Please, please, please. They also sent me an update. They said the other day me and my little brother were home alone, and as we were sitting in the living room watching TV, we could hear two people having a conversation in the kitchen behind us. We tried to get it on audio, but you couldn't hear it. And just as we were about to go to bed, we could hear footsteps walking around our apartment. The cabinets were like opening in the bathroom, and you could hear growling coming from the tub, like something is sitting in there next to you. That's all for now. That's all, folks. Update, I'm here at home alone right now with my cat, and I'm sitting in the living room watching TV. In the kitchen behind me, the cabinets keep creaking like somebody's opening them, and my cat keeps staring into the hallway even though nothing's there. It's starting to freak me out. I would have been freaked out a long time ago. How? How do you do this? How do you survive? I don't understand. I don't fucking get it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm a little terrified right now. Oh my god. Sorry the lighting keeps changing. I can't decide if I want the blanket on or off of me. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I'm actually traumatized from all these stories. Thank you to everybody who is sending me stories. I really appreciate it. I love reading them and I love hearing about them, even though they scare me half to death. But if you guys have any more stories, please send them to me. Please send them to me. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. I feel like one day I'm just gonna have every experience that I've ever read, every experience any of you have ever had. It's just gonna happen to me just because that's the life that I live. All right, see ya.